Kirby Smart is praying that these defenders are able to step up and have a breakout season this upcoming fall. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Of course, there's a lot of people out there questioning Georgia's defense and how good they're going to be this upcoming season. They lost a lot of guys, but if these few players are able to step up and get the most out of themselves, right, and play their best, I do think Georgia has a chance to have an elite defense once again. But there's a lot of guys out there who need to step up. That's what we're talking about in today's video. We're going to start on the defensive line. As you know, that's where it all starts. If you don't have a dominant defensive line, you're not winning anything, right? You have to be outstanding up front. And Christian Miller is a guy that I'm waiting on to have that breakout type of season. He's in year 4, right? He was part of that 2022 class. He's played a lot, right? He's made plays. But this is his group. He is the veteran. He is the experienced guy. He's the leader. And I think he needs to be Georgia's #1 guy, the guy that the rest of the group can lean on, the guy that can make plays both against the run and maybe attack the quarterback as well. And you could put Jordan Hall in this same category as well. I think his potential is, more. I think he's got a higher ceiling. And I think when healthy, he could be dominant and truly one of the breakout guys. But Christian Miller, 6'4", 305, started in 10 games last year, played in 12, 27 tackles, respectable, 3.5 tackles for a loss, 1.5 sacks. I think those numbers need to be better if Georgia wants to have an elite defensive front. Again, it starts with that group, and he's got to be at his best. I think he's got the potential to be. I think he's a really good player. But if he can take a step forward and become one of the best defensive linemen in the SEC, it is going to go a long, long way. He's the senior. I'm expecting him to have the best year of his career. Let's go to linebacker right now. Everyone knows C.J. Allen. He's a guy who could be one of the best linebackers in college football. I think Raylan Wilson is one of the best overall players on the team. That guy is going to have a massive year 3. I expect both of those guys to have monster seasons. But Chris Cole is a guy I think they also need to continue to step up and play well. He really flashed as a true freshman last year. He was SEC All-Freshman, played in all 14 games, 16 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 fumble recoveries. And that's sitting behind C.J. Allen and Raylan Wilson and Jalen Walker, right? They still need that third linebacker to come in and make plays in coverage. He's got the length and athleticism to possibly play some outside linebacker in some key situations as well. But if he continues to get better and better, we're talking about Chris Cole being one of the best linebackers in college football. Maybe not this year, but in year 3, you're talking about another possible Buckets Award winner. That's how good he is. So if he can just get even better than what he already is, I think that's going to go a long way. He's going to play in every game. He might get a start here and there. And, if something happens to C.J. Allen, Raylan Wilson, or anyone else, Chris Cole is a guy who should be able to step in immediately and, provide really quality play. I mean, he has sky-high potential. Kirby Smart loves the kid. Glenn Schumann is a big fan. He's a 5-star for a reason. And again, SEC All-Freshman. So if that guy can continue to improve his play, get better and better, that is going to be massive for this Georgia defense. So Chris Cole, definitely a guy to keep an eye on. I mean, again, really, really good player. Let's talk about the secondary, right? And we're going to talk about Ellis Robinson. Kirby Smart needs him to step up and be that 5-star guy. And if he doesn't earn a starting job at some point as a sophomore and doesn't look like that guy that they recruited out of high school, I mean, he was a top 3 player in the country. You can't teach his length. He's got ball skills. He's fundamentally sound. He played in 4 games last year, made 3 tackles, but he was behind Daniel Harris. Obviously, Dalen Everett has that #1 cornerback job locked down. But if Ellis Robinson doesn't play a lot this year, I think a lot of the blame has to go on the coaches at some point. You can't just blame the kid the whole time. I mean, he's really, really good, and he has the potential to be one of the best cornerbacks in the country, right? He's outstanding from everything I heard out of high school. And, Kirby said, he's coming along. He's getting better. But at some point, Ellis Robinson needs to be out there, make plays, and be that guy that they recruited to lock down one side of the field, right? Ellis Island, be that #1 guy who can lock down any wide receiver in front of him. Because if he doesn't play a ton as a sophomore, there's no guarantee that he sticks around for a 3rd season. He could be like, okay, 2 years, it's not working. I'm not starting. I'm not playing as much as I want. He could go out and get a nice paycheck from any other program in the country and start fresh somewhere else. So I think the coaches need to play him. He needs to start getting to that point. It's just year 2, but again, top 5, top 3 prospect in the country. Year 2 is where you're probably expecting him to come out, be a starter, and make a big, big impact. He's still got to get ahead of the depth chart against, fellow second-year player DeMello Jones and Daniel Harris, but he's got the talent to do so. They really need him. They need him this year to turn into that player that they think he could be. Sticking in the secondary, still waiting on Janelle Aguero to be that type of guy as well. I think he was a top 50, 60 prospect in the country. Intimidating, hard, physical safety. Played in 11 games last year. Made 5 starts in his second season, 26 tackles. Made some really nice plays and some key stops against Kentucky early in the season. And we saw him out there, right? But I think year 3, it could be the year where he steps up and, solidifies one of those starting safety roles, whether it's, nickel or the starting safety opposite KJ Bolden. But Janelle Aguero is too good to not become a truly impactful safety and one of the best safeties in the SEC. He's got that potential. Now, last year, wasn't always in the best position to make a play in coverage, didn't exactly take the best angles to the ball carrier. So there's stuff he can still clean up, but he's playing for an outstanding coaching staff that should get him to where they need him to be and where he can be. So I still think he has the potential to be a really, really good player. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's one of the guys who has a breakout season, and by the end of the 25 season, we're looking at him being like, wow, he was looking at times like one of the best players on defense and one of the best safeties, not only in the SEC, but maybe across the country. He's got that potential. He's got to do it. The coaches have to continue working with him and help him to get to that level. But I think the potential is there. He's got to do it. Year 3 is, I think, a big one for him. He needs to be a really impactful player for the Dogs next year. And if he is, again, that's going to go a long way to Georgia's defense getting back to where we recently saw them. So he's another guy in the secondary. Another linebacker, the guy they brought in from Army, Eli Medozi, 6'3", 245, excuse me. They brought him in for a reason. It's because he can attack the quarterback. He had 6.5 sacks last year for, Army. It was a breakout season. Now he needs to show the staff and the Georgia faithful what he can do. And again, they need more pass rushers. Gabe Harris is a guy who I think is probably the best pass rusher on the team. Quintavious Johnson is a guy that I think they are high on. He's going to be entering year 2, right? He's physically gifted. I think he's got the potential to open some eyes this year. But Eli Medozi, definitely a guy that I think they're expecting to come in and make some plays and be an impactful pass rusher because they need it. There's no doubt about it. You've got to attack the quarterback, and they need guys to step up. Gabe Harris has to step up too. I think he will, but Medozi's a guy. He's smart. He's intelligent. He plays hard. He's got length, and that's the guy that they focused on out of the portal for a reason. So if he can bring some quality, consistent pass rush to the Georgia defense, that is only going to make them better. It's going to make things easier for the inside linebackers. It's going to make things easier for the interior guys. It's going to make things easier for the other pass rushers, outside linebackers, edge defenders, opposite of him too. So he's a guy that I think, they're expecting to come in and make an impact for sure day 1. So we're going to see a lot of him. And I think if he steps up and rises to the occasion, that is a big, big deal. And then we'll go back to the defensive line. And Nnamdi Agboko is a guy that I think could really transform this Georgia defense, right? He's not 305. He's not 310, not 315. This guy's 340 pounds, right? This is the nose guard. This is a guy who can eat up double teams and make things easier for the linebackers. But entering year 2, right? So there's still time for him to turn into that player. He played in 3 games last year as a true freshman, but they don't have a ton of guys who are that heavy, right? Who can do what he does, right? And that's what made Georgia's 21 defense so elite, right? Is they had Jordan Davis, who's 340, 350, right? Devontae Wyatt was great. He was at the 310, 315. Jalen Carter was great, but he wasn't 340 pounds. You need that heavy, just, brick wall in the middle of that defensive line. Nnamdi Agboko has a chance to be that guy. Will he step up and take a big step forward in year 2? We'll see. If he does, I think that would be huge, right? Kristen Miller, guy I spoke about earlier, he's just 305, right? Elijah Griffin, the freshman, I think is going to play and make an impact. He's 305, 310. They need Nnamdi Ogboko to be that guy, that run-stuffing defender, which helps everyone, right? It starts on the defensive line. It starts in the middle. And I think he has the potential to be that run-stuffing, occasional, pass rushing guy from the inside. And if he can continue to develop and progress and be that type of player that we've seen from them in the past, other guys that they've had, mainly the Jordan Davis. I'm not comparing him to Jordan Davis. Jamal Jarrett, they thought could be that guy. He wasn't. Someone's got to step up and be that new age nose guard that helps everyone around him. Nnamdi Ogboko could be that guy. Maybe in year 2, maybe it's in 26 as year 3, but the sooner he can be that guy for them, the better it is for Kirby Smart and this Georgia defense. So just a few guys that I think have the potential to step up and have a breakout season. If they do, Georgia's defense might be better than you think. Thanks for watching. You can read more about this and other Georgia football notes and recruiting insider scoop over on Dawg Post. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on the website.